Okay, I'm gonna stream real quick before we start our 6 o'clock horse tournament, and then our we have a 7 o'clock no limit hold'em tournament tonight as part of our Mountain Lion Poker Club. But I want to start streaming and just give about 5-10 minute dialogue on a comment that I received from Shaun Buscemi. Buscemi? That's pretty close, I'm sure. You can see here that Shaun had watched our video, or my video, where I came in second out of 108 on a stud high-low tournament on PokerStars. And I decided to start streaming some of the content because there's just not a lot out there when it comes to mixed games, especially the stud variants. So first and foremost, I want to say thanks to Shaun for at least posting some food for thought, some questions, some challenges, sharing your observations. I really appreciate it. I Googled his name, I looked on ACR's website, and he's got some good results. So, people that know what they're talking about, I always welcome comments and questions because I'm just really here to better my game and to become a better player down the road. I love stud high low. It's the only tournament, Raz and stud high low, that I've actually made a day two or ran deep in a World Series. So I just feel like I'm right there, and it's these kind of little questions that sort of I think will help push me over the top. So players like Shaun, checking in and just asking some questions, I really appreciate it. So what he observed and what his question was is in reference to a hand that I played at the hour 17-minute mark, 1 hour 17 minutes. I start with 264, and the observation is such that he would like me to review the hand specifically because a 264 is a double gapper. So we're looking at a hand that for me to make a high straight, I need to fill it up with a 3 and a 5, hence the double gap. And I remember this hand because I open it, I actually complete this bet, and I go into these two aces to my left. And we'll watch the hand here. He suggests preferably calling here because a 6-low draw is that I want as many callers in as possible. And I very much agree with that simply because you're getting half the pot. So if I have 4 callers out there, then I'm bringing in a little bit more money. And I think what I hear Shaun saying is you got to maximize the hands that aren't going to be, that don't have a high scoopability. You need to maximize those hands for the draw value. So if I hit it, I can still pick up half. And the 6 low is great. I mean, what is it? There's it's like the second nut, 6-5. So I don't know if that's right. Ace, deuce, 3, 4, 5. Ace, deuce, 3, 4. The wheel. So a 65 would be the second nuts. The nut nut. The nut nut would be the wheel. So anyway, the last thing he says he would like is to be heads up with a pair of aces or ace high pair because it's very hard to scoop. And then there's an observation here about completing a bet, and he says he rarely does that. He sees people do it with like 7-ace deuce, or even some pairs completing a bet. But why risk running into a bad hand? Why give anything away? Why give away your strength? And these are just his opinions, but they're valuable, and I want to watch the hand real quick and kind of go over it. He also notes the volume is pretty low, so we can't really hear it, but the reason I'm raising is to get rid of one of the aces. If I can get rid of both aces, even better. Okay, so with the 264, what I'm thinking, I also am drinking wine, so I think that might have a little bit to do with the play here, but what I am thinking is the king opens up, and or does the deuce open up? The low. So the deuce opens up, the king calls, and I feel that the 2 aces to my left, like the king is maybe flat in that. I just think because of it's a high card, he's going into the aces, and he has the king. I really thought by completing it with my draw, I'm not going for the straight, I'm just going for the low because I look out, I see the deuce that I already have, I saw the shared aces, so the chances of them having a pair of aces are a little more slim. But the ace is a low card too, so I complete it because I thought that I'd at least get 3 or 4 callers. And in hindsight, I guess what Shaun is pointing out is that if I just bring it in, or I match the bring in, then there'll be more money out in the pot for me if I do pick up my hand to scoop this. So I think I was raising for the purpose of getting rid of one of those aces. But how's it play out? I think I'm going against a low or a potential high. I don't know why the 9 calls there. I don't know. If any of these two call, so he has an ace, is what I was saying, or he's got a pair of kings. So the deuce has an ace. So the fact that I hit an ace here is very fortunate because, as you saw, there were already 2 accounted for. So now I'm drawn to the nut, that second nut 6, and I feel like I'm inflating the pot enough. If I just call before, it's a difference of what, 360, 720. It's still in the 65-10 with the player all in. So if it comes around to me and I think I lead out, now maybe he doesn't, because when I pick up an ace, that makes me kind of feeling
so
like
I lead out. I have to bet here.
I have a 64
because I can't. I'm not going to keep checking it down.
I see the diamonds maybe hitting up top, but at this point I'm going for the low.
Nuts.
But I'll take a 5. So now when Cranky Scott gets that ace 4-3, I'm thinking, what happened here? Do I continue along?
So I put him on. So I put the Cranky Scott on the ace, the case ace, for a pair of aces, and some other card. Let's just say it's a 6. So he's also drawn to a 6.
Because I see 1 5, I see 2 7s,
and he's all in any
I still
way.
have
So
quite a few outs here, and
so there's my money card,
like crazy. It's crazy because I'm that good. I'm actually that lucky. Yeah.
So yeah. So now I'm all in.
This is a flush. These are 2 spades. See that flush there? So I know where he's at, and I know we're chopping it down. So I'm gonna call that a minute 17. That lesson is I read your soul.
So I think what we're kind of getting at is, what could I have done differently there? And as I read the comments, what I think the suggestion is to maybe play it a little bit more, not passive, but I think in the beginning, getting more people in there. The difficulty I'm watching with that hand, though, is there were a couple people that were already all in. I mean, I was all in at that point. It wouldn't have changed. I mean, I think if we get more people in there, I'm still going all in on that hand. But the observation, what I hear Shaun saying is, I had no opportunity. I mean, I could have got a wheel with that double gapper. I could have hit the 5 and made the wheel, but it's not a hand that's really going to scoop the whole pot. So the best I'm playing for is half the pot. And I think sometimes what I do is I overcommit myself to those opportunities where I'm just playing for half the pot. And if I don't hit, then if I don't catch the low, then I'm screwed. So I do overplay a lot of 3-card starts, even though I say, okay, I'm only going to play Ken Lowe's hands. And when I look at the stud high-low hands, Ken Lowe's talking about starting out with trip, rolled up, deuces, 7s, aces, or 3 small cards, 2, 3, 5, that have the ability to, maybe they're suited so that you can catch the flush or the clutch, a straight. And then high pair aces that also can go low. So scoopable hands. Coming out with a 2-6-4 rainbow. I think actually 2 of them were suited, but that doesn't really change my equity. So I totally agree. I think that and I'm trying to get to that next level. And I think that next level, I think the higher up you get, it's not like the rungs on the ladder are equally paced. I think as we become better at poker, and I get from like an amateur level to where I want to be a professional, I want to actually do this and win a bracelet, the gap between where I'm at now and the top isn't as drastic as it was when I was first starting out to where I am now. I'm at this point where there's little differences between the people I'm playing cards with. But one small incremental change could be if I maximized the hands, the value of the hands that I'm getting into the pots, so that if I don't make one way low or one way high, I have I've saved some chips on the end. So what I'm saying is I think like getting the most value out of your starting cards if you're kind of in a position where you're forced to play a low or a high and don't hit. But also if you do hit, then you have more chips in the pot, and you're getting half of that, which is full value. And I think that that's what Shaun's getting at. And I've been thinking about it, and I really appreciate that observation because I definitely want to get better. And it's these little things that get you to the next step. Cool. And the volume, yep. Cool beans. All right, we're going to start our tournament here in about 5 minutes. I just wanted to reply back. If ever there's another opportunity to share a comment or an observation from our videos, I'll do it. So Shaun Buscemi, thanks a lot. And I followed you on Twitter and I think Instagram, but give me a follow back at JDCole72, or you can also get us at UCCS Poker Club, or just Google Mountain Lion Poker Club, and you'll see some of the things that we're doing out here in Colorado. If you'd like to join our game, our home game, come on over to the Poker Stars, go on home games, and you can search Mountain Lion Poker Club and play some horse with us. Cool. All right, thanks a lot.